Hi, folks. Marianne Wilhelm here. I just wanted to come online to tell you about the NDP convention for 2021. It was interesting. Um, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about who I am anyway. I'm Marianne Wilhelm, and I'm originally from Sagmuk First Nation, and I'm also the outreach director for the NDP Aboriginal Commission. Um, and I'm also the federal disability rep for the Sudbury area, which is on the traditional lands of Tigmashig First Nation. All right, now that's out of the way. Okay, let's talk about convention. All right, it was interesting. This first time that I've gone to a virtual convention. And was it first time for them too? I don't know. Anyway, I've gone to physical conventions, and that's a journey in itself, because you're just you've got to hurry up, grab your papers, get to where you got to go. Don't miss the groups, and make sure you get to the floor right away too. So you're bouncing around, and don't get locked out because the doors do close when you vote. All right. So this convention was on all online, and we we put our resolutions out a lot earlier, and so they get submitted to the special workers out there, and then we all vote on it, and it gets prioritized and put into sections. And so what I didn't know was that part actually was the prioritization process. I didn't know about that. Anyhow, we got the water right go through for the NDP Aboriginal Commission. Um, we had, I think, I wonder if I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. There might have been another one that got accepted. What didn't get accepted, which I was very disappointed in, was the one about getting three Aboriginals seats at each of the ridings where there's Indigenous present, and that matters because it's, as anyone knows, walking into a place that you're not familiar with, you don't know the rules, you don't know what to expect, you're completely new to it. If you walk in with somebody that you also know, and it's a lot more comfortable. And so my goal was to try to get uh, three Indigenous seats per riding open, so that there would always be a seat available for at least three Indigenous, whether they were Métis, Inuit, or Indigenous. Okay. Anyway, that didn't go through because it's not because it didn't it that they voted it down. It just simply didn't get heard, because that happened to a lot of people. We go through a lot of work to get these resolutions done, and it's disappointing when they don't get heard. Uh, I think my biggest one that I'm for me personally is the pardons one. You know, that's in 2010, and so I can't imagine about how many people are walking around out there who can't afford a pardon. It's $668 to get a pardon done, and my understanding is that that these social organizations, I guess, like the Elizabeth Fry, they don't have a mandate or funds available that will help people get a pardon. It is $668 from $50, so that's a big jump. Uh, who did that? Vic Toes, conservatives, back in 2010. So that many people out there. And I believe I came across a figure where it said 98% drop in applications for people to apply for pardons. And the reason is because they can't afford it. And that's why this resolution was important. There's too many Indigenous. Oh, let's get to that piece. Now, can't remember that guy's name. Ivan Zinger, from Corrections Canada. He used a coin that the prisons have been indigenized. That says a lot. Now you can add into the factor that these people are going to have a criminal record. Now, let's say, they haven't done a crime in a long time, and they've lived clean lives, and they want to go and volunteer. You can't volunteer for an organization. Can't volunteer for the Women's Center. Can't volunteer for disabilities, old age homes. I don't know what else there is to go on. But anyway, you're losing valuable people that would be dedicated to volunteering, or even people willing to work. There are older people, which I've experienced myself when I was campaigning in Bruce Grey Owen Sound, where they had complained that they wanted to volunteer, but because they had such an old criminal record, they weren't allowed to volunteer. And so those people say, I'm not going to pay $668 just to volunteer. There goes lost opportunity. That resolution would have put us would have at least slowed the lost opportunities and brought more people in to be able to work or volunteer. That would have been the goal, was to reduce the pardons from $668 down back to $50. We would have expunged the record for people who had a cannabis record, because apparently going over the border, if you have merely a suspension, you can get kicked back. So an expunged record is literally just gets rid of that record. The other part to that resolution was that records that were old and didn't show any new crimes, they would have been automatically pardoned. That's what that resolution was. That's not the first time that has been done. I got that idea from the States, so it's not a new idea, and it's high time that Canada implements that as well too. Oh, anyway, that didn't go through, and I learned that the next option is that they can be moved up to the federal council. So I'm hoping that that's what will happen with those two resolutions and the other resolutions that were put forward by our Sarah McLean from the Aboriginal Commission, because those resolutions were very important. We spend our time putting these resolutions forward across Canada. We're all volunteers, and we put our time in here to put good resolutions forward to help Canadians and Indigenous. And so when we go to convention and we find that we're not even going to get halfway through a section, and that our resolutions are going to be dropped, it's pretty disappointing. Nevertheless, we have the federal council, and I hope that the federal council will see my resolutions valid enough to move it forward. Other than that, it's always fun, and it's nice to run into some old friends like Kim. So, all in all, I didn't spend any gas for the camp for the convention, so that's not too shabby, huh? Okay, well, I think that's it for me. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again. Good night.